You are sitting at the table. It's a Tuesday night. Maybe it's dinner with friends. Maybe it's a meeting where you're trying to prove your worth. You've been waiting for the right moment to speak. You've been rehearsing this sentence in your head for 10 minutes, waiting for a gap in the conversation. You finally open your mouth. You start to speak. You are 2 words in, and they don't just interrupt you. They don't just talk over you. They look right through you. They turn their body away from you, physically cutting you out of the circle, and they ask someone else a question. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't a mistake. It was a calibration. They were checking to see if you would accept being invisible. And here is the part that keeps you awake at night. Here is the part that burns in your gut when you're staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. You didn't leave. You didn't flip the table. You didn't even speak up. You laughed. You awkwardly shifted in your chair. You picked up your drink, and you pretended you weren't speaking at all. You accepted the erasure. You collaborated in your own humiliation. This isn't about being polite. This isn't about keeping the peace. This is about the precise moment you taught them that you were disposable. Pause for a second. Let that sink in. You taught them. Because disrespect is never a one-time event. It is a language. And right now, you are fluent in it. You are accepting a currency that is bankrupting your soul. Think about the text message. You know the one. You sent a paragraph. You poured your heart out. You explained exactly why you were hurt. You were vulnerable. You were honest. You waited. You watched the 3 dots appear. You watched them disappear. And then, for hours later, you get a response. A meme. A one-word answer. Or worse, nothing. They saw it. You know they saw it. You can see they're online. You can see them posting stories. You can see them liking other people's photos. But they didn't deem you worthy of a response. And what do? Do you walk away? Do you realize that their silence is the loudest scream of disrespect they could possibly utter? No. You double text. You ask if they're okay. You apologize for being too intense. You scramble to fix a relationship that they are currently using as a doormat. You are negotiating for basic human decency, and you are losing. You have to understand the mechanics of what is happening to you. This isn't bad luck. This is a system. When someone disrespects you, they are asking you a question: how much garbage will you eat to stay close to me? And every time you stay, every time you laugh it off, every time you reply to that late-night text after they ignored you for a week, you are answering, I will eat all of it. Just don't leave me. It makes your skin crawl, doesn't it? It should. The nausea you feel right now is your survival instinct trying to wake you up. You are living in a state of chronic, low-grade rejection. It's not always a scream in the face. Sometimes it's the fact that they are always late. You are always on time. You sit in the restaurant, checking your watch, checking your phone, making excuses for them to the waiter. They're just stuck in traffic, you say. They're just busy. Stop. They aren't busy. They just don't respect your time. Time is the only non-renewable resource we have. When someone steals your time, they are stealing a piece of your life that you will never get back. By making you wait, they are establishing a hierarchy. They are the prize, you are the fan. They are the celebrity, you are the audience. And you are sitting there, alone at a table for 2, validating their superiority with your patience. You think that if you are just patient enough, if you are just understanding enough, they will finally see your value. You think your tolerance is a virtue. You think your ability to take it makes you strong. Wrong. Your tolerance is not a virtue. It is a vacuum. It sucks the respect out of the room. Psychology tells us that humans do not respect what they can control completely. If they know you will never leave, if they know you will never impose a consequence, they have no reason to respect you. None. Zero. You are fighting a war for your dignity, but you've already surrendered your weapons. You are trying to win them over, but the very act of trying proves to them that you are beneath them. You are chasing. They are running. And as long as you are running, you are looking at their back. You are looking at a person who is turning away from you. The disrespect isn't going to stop because you explain it to them one more time. You can't explain empathy to someone who uses your emotions as leverage. You can't explain respect to someone who benefits from your submission. This is the uncomfortable truth. You are not a victim of their disrespect. You are a volunteer. You signed up for this. You renew the contract every morning that you don't walk away. You renew the contract every time you pick up the phone. You renew the contract every time you let them make you feel small so they can feel big. And deep down, you know it. You know that the relationship is dead. You know that the friendship is poison. You know that the job is a dead end. But you stay. You stay because the known hell is better than the unknown void. You stay because you are addicted to the hope that maybe, just maybe, if you take it one more time, they will change. They won't. This is the psychology of the final walk away. Not a break. Not a pause. Not a let's take some space. A funeral. A death of the dynamic. Because until you are willing to kill the version of you that tolerates this, you will never meet the version of you that is respected. You didn't wake up one morning and decide to be a doormat. Nobody does. That's the most dangerous part of this dynamic. You think disrespect is a tsunami that hits you all at once. It's not. It's a slow, steady drip of poison. You've built up an immunity to it. So you don't even taste the bitterness anymore. Let's look at the tape. Let's rewind your life and look at the moments you missed. Scene 1. You're at a party. You're with friends. You're feeling good. You tell a story you're proud of. And they chime in. Oh, don't listen to them. They always exaggerate. That's not how it happened. You're remembering it wrong. It's said with a smile. It's said with a chuckle. But look at what just happened. They didn't just correct a fact. They publicly undermined your credibility. They signaled to every single person in that room, I am the authority on reality. This person is unreliable. And what did you do? You smiled. You said, yeah, maybe I am. You shrank. You took the hit. You let them rewrite your memory in real time because you didn't want to make a scene. You prioritized their comfort over your own dignity. You're too sensitive. That's the phrase, isn't it? That's the weapon. Every time you try to stand up, every time you try to say, hey, that hurt, they hit you with it. I was just joking. You can't take a joke? You're so dramatic. Pause. They are gaslighting you into believing that your pain is a character flaw. They are training you to believe that your reaction to their abuse is the problem, not the abuse itself. And it works. You stop complaining. You stop bringing it up. You swallow it. Scene 2. The phone rings. It's late. They're in a crisis. Again, they had a bad day. They had a fight with their partner. They hate their job. You pick up. You always pick up. You listen for 45 minutes. You offer advice. You offer comfort. You are the rock. You are the safe harbor. 2 days later, you have a bad day. You get bad news. You feel like the world is crushing you. You text them. Hey, do you have a minute? I really need to talk. I'm super swamped right now. Can we do this later? Later never comes. Do you see the asymmetry? Do you see the math? You are not a friend. You are not a partner. You are a utility. You are an emotional trash can. They dump their garbage into you. They feel lighter and they walk away. You are left holding the bag. You are left with the heaviness. And when you ask for 5 minutes of the hours you gave them, you are a burden. You are needy. Scene 3. The plans. You made them a week ago. You cleared your schedule. You said no to other people. You got ready. You're excited. An hour before, hey, something came up. Rain check. No apology. No specific reason. Just something came up. Translation, something better came up. Or worse, I just don't feel like seeing you, and I know you'll be there whenever I decide I do. And you say, no worries. Let me know when you're free. No worries. You are lying. You are worried. You are hurt. You are frustrated. But you are so terrified of losing the scraps of their attention that you pretend the starvation doesn't bother you. This is the cycle of diminishing returns. In the beginning, you gave 100%, and maybe you got 80% back. It felt okay. It felt almost fair. But then, you gave 100%, and you got 60%. You felt the drop. So what did you do? Did you pull back? No. You worked harder. You thought, if I give 120%, maybe I'll get that 80% back. So you gave more. You tried harder. You became more available, more agreeable, more chill. And they gave you 40%. You are chasing a ghost. You are investing in a stock that is crashing, thinking that if you just buy more shares, you can save the company. You can't. The market has decided your value is zero because you set the price at zero. Every time you accept the joke, every time you accept the silence, every time you accept the cancellation, you are lowering your price. You are flooding the market with your own desperation. And here is the hardest part to swallow. They are bored by you. Cruelty isn't always about hatred. Sometimes it's about boredom. Humans get bored with things that are too easy. They get bored with things that have no edge. By removing all your boundaries to keep them, you have become featureless. You have become background noise. You are the comfortable chair they sit in and forget exists. They don't hate the chair. They just don't respect it. They don't thank the chair for holding them up. They just expect it. And if one day the chair broke, if one day you snapped, they wouldn't be sorry. They would be annoyed. They would be confused. Why is my chair acting like this? You have normalized their cruelty to the point where your own survival feels like an aggression to them. You standing up for yourself feels like an attack because they have spent years relying on your submission. You are waiting for them to wake up and realize what they have. They won't. Why would they? You've made it so comfortable for them to disrespect you. You've made the price of admission to your life free. And nobody values what they get for free. You are in love with a ghost. You aren't in a relationship with the person sitting across from you. You aren't friends with the person who ignores your texts. You aren't working for the boss who steals your credit. You are interacting with a hologram. You are interacting with a projection of who they could be if they just fixed that one thing. If they just went to therapy. If they just got less stressed. If they just realized how much you do for them. You look at them and you don't see the cruelty. You see the potential. You see the flashes of gold in the mud. You remember that one time, 3 months ago, when they were sweet. When they bought you coffee. When they listened for 10 minutes. And you cling to that 10 minutes like a drowning sailor clinging to a piece of driftwood. You build an entire cathedral of hope on a foundation of scraps. But they have such a good heart deep down. Stop. Read that again. Deep down. Do you know what is deep down? More of the same. There is no buried treasure. There is no secret, kind version of them trapped inside a cage of trauma, waiting for your love to unlock the door. That is a fairy tale you tell yourself to avoid the nausea of the truth. The person who disrespects you is the person. The disrespect is not a glitch. It is the operating system. This is the gut punch realization you have been avoiding. You are not suffering because of who they are. You are suffering because of who you pretend they are. You are the architect of your own prison. You are the one painting over the steel bars with bright colors, calling it a home. You look at their behavior, the silence, the sarcasm, the flaking, the insults, and you edit it in real time. You add subtitles that aren't there. They say, "I don't care about your day." You translate, "They are just overwhelmed with work." They say, "Silence for 3 days." You translate, "They are just bad at texting." They say, "You're annoying." You translate, "They're just teasing because they're comfortable with me." You are lying to yourself. You are gaslighting yourself so they don't have to. You are doing the heavy lifting of their manipulation for them. You are carrying their baggage and thanking them for the workout. Why do you do this? Why do you cling to the potential instead of the reality? Because the reality is terrifying. If you admit that the person in front of you, the one you've invested years in, the one you've cried over, the one you've defended to your family, is actually just a selfish, disrespectful person who doesn't care if you live or die, then you have to admit you made a mistake. A massive, expensive, humiliating mistake. You have to admit you wasted your time. You have to admit you were wrong. And human beings will do almost anything to avoid admitting they were conned. We will double down. We will stay in the burning house because we spent so long decorating the living room. This is exactly what they disrespect you means. It means they have shown you their cards. They have laid them face up on the table. They are holding a pair of twos. And you are sitting there, betting your life savings, screaming, but maybe it's a royal flush. It isn't. You are waiting for a train at an airport. You are waiting for a boat in the desert. You are waiting for a change that is physically impossible because the person you are waiting for sees no reason to change. Why would they? You're still there, aren't you? You're still accepting the scraps. You're still translating their cruelty into kindness. The potential is the bait. It's the cheese in the mousetrap. It's the shiny object that keeps you looking forward while they stab you in the back. Real love, real friendship, real respect, it doesn't require a translator. It doesn't require you to be a forensic analyst of their true intentions. It is evident. It is palpable. It is safe. If you have to constantly explain their behavior to your friends, if you have to constantly defend them to your family, if you have to constantly reassure yourself that it's just a phase, it's not a phase. It's the rest of your life. The potential is a lie. The disrespect is the only truth in the room. And until you stop falling in love with the ghost, the real person is going to keep haunting you. They will keep draining you until you are nothing but a shell, wondering where the person you used to be went. You are sacrificing your actual self for their potential self. And that is a trade that will bankrupt you. If they were a monster every single second of every single day, you would have left years ago. If every time you touched the stove it burned you, you would stop touching the stove. That is basic survival. But they aren't a monster every second. And that is exactly why you are trapped. This is the most dangerous part of the dynamic. This is the glue that keeps you stuck to a person who disrespects you. It's not the abuse that keeps you there. It's the kindness. It's the Tuesday afternoon when they suddenly send a funny meme after 3 days of silence. It's the random compliment. They give you right when you're about to break. It's the one night they actually listen, look you in the eye, and make you feel special again. You hold on to those moments. You take screenshots of the nice texts. You replay the good dates in your head. You tell yourself, see, they can be good. This is the real them. The other stuff is just stress. Wrong. You are the victim of a psychological weapon called intermittent reinforcement. Let's go back to the 1950s. A psychologist named B.F. Skinner put rats in a box. He gave them a lever. In box A, every time the rat pressed the lever, it got a food pellet. The rat pressed it when it was hungry, ate, and went to sleep. It was consistent. It was boring. In box B, the lever never gave food. The rat pressed it a few times, realized it was broken, and gave up. It walked away. But in box C, the lever was rigged. Sometimes it gave a pellet. Sometimes it gave nothing. Sometimes it gave 2 pellets. Sometimes it went silent for an hour. The result was random, unpredictable. Do you know what happened to the rat in box C? It went insane. It pressed the lever thousands of times. It stopped grooming itself. It stopped sleeping. It became obsessed with the lever. It didn't know when the reward was coming, so it stayed in a state of permanent, high-stakes anxiety, waiting for the hit. You are the rat in box C. The person who disrespects you is the lever. The nice moments, the texts, the affection, the apologies, are the pellets. They have trained you to accept starvation by feeding you just enough to keep you alive. They have conditioned your brain to release a massive spike of dopamine not when they are consistently good to you, but when they stop being bad. Think about the relief you feel when they finally text back after ignoring you. That rush. That isn't happiness. That is the removal of pain. That is the addict getting a fix. You aren't addicted to their love. You are addicted to the relief from the anxiety they created. If they were consistent, you would be bored or you would leave. If they were consistently nice, you might actually realize you have nothing in common. If they were consistently cruel, you would block them. But because they are intermittent, because you never know which version of them you're going to get, you stay hypervigilant. You stay focused on them. You analyze their tone. You check their last seen status. You try to decode their silence. Are they mad? Did I say something wrong? Oh wait, they just liked my photo. Okay, we're safe. You are gambling with your own sanity. You are pulling the slot machine handle, hoping that this time you get 3 cherries. And when you lose, when they disrespect you again, you don't walk away. You think, I just need to put 1 more coin in. I just need to try a little harder. The jackpot is coming. It isn't coming. The machine is rigged. The house always wins. The kindness they show you isn't love. It is maintenance. It is the minimum amount of fuel required to keep the engine running so they can drive the car into the ground. They sense when you are pulling away. They have a radar for it. And that is the exact moment they drop the pellet. That is when they say, I miss you. That is when they make a promise. And you reset the clock. You forgive the last 6 months of disrespect because of 3 hours of attention. This is exactly how they disrespect you and get away with it. They hack your dopamine system. They turn your relationship into a casino. And you are the gambler who has lost the house, the car, and the savings. But you're still sitting at the table because you won $50 on the last spin. You have to understand this. In a healthy dynamic, consistency is the baseline. Respect is the floor, not the ceiling. You shouldn't be surprised when someone treats you well. You shouldn't be relieved when someone isn't cruel. If you find yourself celebrating basic decency as if it's a grand romantic gesture, you are already in the box. You are already pressing the lever. And the only way to win a rigged game is to stand up and leave the casino. Here is the hard truth about your value. It has nothing to do with your soul. It has nothing to do with your kindness. It has nothing to do with how good of a person you are. It has everything to do with your availability. Imagine you walk into a store. In the corner, there is a bag. It's beautiful. It's well made. But there are 10,000 of them in a pile. They are giving them away for free at the door. You might take one. You might use it to carry your gym clothes. You might throw it in the back of your car and forget about it. If you lose it, do you cry? Do you panic? No. You just go back to the store and get another one. Because they are always there. They are infinite. Now imagine a different bag. It's behind glass. There is only one. You have to make an appointment just to look at it. You have to save up for 6 months to buy it. When you finally get it, how do you treat it? Do you throw it on the floor? Do you let your dog chew on it? No. You cherish it. You protect it. You value it. You are the bag in the pile. You have flooded the market with your presence. You are the 7-Eleven of people. You are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Rain or shine, holiday or workday, you are there. You are always reachable. You are always free. You are always willing to hang out. You think this makes you loyal. You think this makes you reliable. You think, if I'm always there for them, they will see how much I care. Wrong. To the human brain, abundance equals low value. Scarcity equals high value. This is the economics of availability. By making yourself constantly available to someone who gives you nothing in return, you are signaling that your time is worthless. You are screaming, I have nothing better to do than wait for you. Think about the text dynamic again. They text you at 10:42 p.m. You reply at 10:42 p.m. They text you at 4:15 p.m. on a Tuesday. You reply at 4:16 p.m. on a Tuesday. You are training them to believe that you are sitting by the phone, waiting for their command. You are training them that they don't need to plan, they don't need to respect your schedule, and they don't need to prioritize you. Why would they book a slot on your calendar a week in advance when they know they can whistle and you'll come running in 5 minutes? You have become a convenience. You are the backup plan. You are the in case of emergency glass they break when they are bored, lonely, or their first choice fell through. Hey, are you around? Yeah, of course you are. You are always around. And because you are always around, you are invisible. We do not notice the air we breathe until we are choking. We do not notice the water until the tap runs dry. As long as you are flowing freely into their life, they will never, ever notice your value. They will only consume you. You are terrified that if you say no, if you aren't available, they will leave. You think your availability is the only thing holding the relationship together. If I don't answer, they'll think I'm mad. If I don't go, they'll stop inviting me. Let them. If your relationship relies on you being a doormat, it isn't a relationship. It's a hostage situation. You need to understand that your time is a currency. Every time you give it to someone who disrespects you, you are burning money. You are throwing gold into the ocean. You are taking the most precious resource you have, the minutes of your life, and handing them to someone who uses them to wipe their feet. You have to create scarcity, not as a game, not as a manipulation tactic, but because you actually have a life. You have goals. You have other friends. You have hobbies. You have sleep. When you are busy building your own life, you are naturally less available. You don't have to pretend. You just are. And suddenly, the dynamic shifts. Suddenly, they realize the store is closed. Suddenly, they realize the free samples are gone. And watch what happens. They will be confused. They will be annoyed. They might even get angry. You've changed. You're never around anymore. Good. That anger is the sound of them realizing they can no longer afford you. That confusion is the sound of the market correcting itself. You have pulled your stock from the exchange. You have delisted yourself from the discount rack. You are no longer a commodity. You are an investment. And if they aren't willing to pay the price of respect, they don't get to own your time. This is exactly how they disrespect you. They take what is free and treat it like garbage. Stop being free. But we've known each other for 10 years. But we've been through so much together. But I've already put so much time into this. There it is. The sentence that handcuffs you to a corpse. The sentence that keeps you sitting in a burning building because you spent so long decorating the living room. You are trapped in the sunk cost fallacy. In economics, a sunk cost is money you have already spent and cannot get back. It is gone. It is ash. Rational people ignore sunk costs when making decisions about the future. But human beings? We are not rational. We are emotional hoarders. Imagine you buy a ticket to a movie. It costs you $20. You sit down. 20 minutes in, you realize it is the worst movie you have ever seen. It is boring. It is loud. It is offensive. You hate it. Do you leave? Most people don't. Most people sit there for another 2 hours, miserable, checking their watch, suffering. Why? Because they paid for it. They think that by suffering through the bad movie, they are somehow getting their money's worth. You are doing the exact same thing with your life. You are sitting in a relationship, a friendship, or a job that makes you miserable. You are being disrespected daily. You are being ignored. You are being used. But you refuse to walk away because you have invested 5 years. You think, if I leave now, those 5 years were a waste. So what do? You stay for 5 more years. And now, you have wasted 10 years. You are the gambler at the casino who has lost $5,000. You are sweating. You are shaking. You know the table is cold. You know the dealer is winning. But you can't walk away. You tell yourself, I'm down too much to quit now. I have to win it back. You are trying to win back your time. You think that if you just stay long enough, if you just fix them, if you just make it work, then the last 5 years of pain will be worth it. You think you can retroactively turn the disrespect into a success story. You can't. The time is gone. You cannot get a refund on your youth. You cannot get a refund on the nights you cried yourself to sleep. You cannot get a refund on the energy you poured into a black hole. That investment is zero. It is a write-off. And this is the uncomfortable truth you are avoiding. You are staying because you don't want to admit you made a mistake. To walk away now is to admit that you chose the wrong person. It is to admit that you let someone treat you like garbage for years. It is to admit that you were conned, and your ego would rather protect the mistake than free you from it. You would rather be right and miserable than wrong and free. You treat the relationship like a house you are renovating. You see the cracks in the foundation, the disrespect. You see the mold in the walls, the lies. But you keep buying new curtains. You keep painting the door. You keep telling yourself, I've put too much work into this house to sell it now. So the house collapses on top of you. This is exactly how they disrespect you. They bank on your history. They know you value the past more than you value your present. They know you are sentimental. They know you will look at a photo from 3 years ago and forgive the insult from 3 minutes ago. They are using your own loyalty as a weapon against you. You need to look at the math. The stock has crashed. The company is bankrupt. The ship is sinking. Staying on the ship does not save the ship. It just means you drown with it. Stop trying to save the past. The past is dead. You are fighting for your future. Every day you stay is another coin you are throwing into a machine that is broken. Every day you stay is a vote for more disrespect. You are not saving the relationship. You are just delaying the inevitable funeral. Cut your losses. Admitting you were wrong is the most powerful thing you can do. It means you are smart enough to stop bleeding. It means you value your remaining time more than your lost time. Walk away from the table while you still have the shirt on your back. You think the hardest part is saying goodbye. You think the hardest part is the breakup text, the block number, the final door slam. You are wrong. The hardest part is 7 p.m. on a Friday night, 3 days later. The hardest part is the silence. You are sitting on your couch. The TV is on, but you aren't watching it. Your phone is face down on the table. It hasn't buzzed in 4 hours. The room is quiet. Too quiet. You feel a physical itch under your skin. Your chest gets tight. Your hand twitches toward the phone. You just want to check. You just want to see if they looked at your story. You just want to see if they're online. Why? Because you are terrified of the void. You have spent so long living in the chaos of their disrespect that peace feels like death. You have normalized the anxiety. You have normalized the adrenaline of the fight, the waiting, the uncertainty. Your nervous system is calibrated to high alert. When you remove the source of the chaos, the person who disrespects you, you are left with a massive, gaping hole in your reality. And that hole is silent. Most people will choose a painful relationship over a quiet room every single time. We are social animals. We are wired for connection. But when that wiring gets crossed, we start to believe that any connection is better than no connection. This is the uncomfortable truth. You prefer bad attention to no attention. Think about a child in a classroom. If the teacher ignores them, they will act out. They will scream. They will throw a chair. Why? Because being yelled at is better than being invisible. Negative attention confirms you exist. Being ignored makes you feel like a ghost. You are doing the exact same thing. You provoke arguments just to get a reaction. You stay in toxic friendships just to have plans. You tolerate their insults because at least they are looking at you. At least you are a player in the scene. They make me feel so alive, you say? No, they make you feel anxious. But to a numb person, pain feels like life. To a bored person, drama feels like purpose. You are using their disrespect as a distraction. As long as you are obsessed with them, analyzing their texts, complaining about them to your friends, crying over their cruelty, you don't have to look at yourself. The void is terrifying because it is a mirror. When the drama stops, when the noise cuts out, you are left alone with your own thoughts. You are left with your own insecurities. You are left with the question, who am I when I'm not fighting for someone's approval? And you don't like the answer. You don't know the answer. So you go back. You unblock the number. You send the text. You invite the chaos back into your life because the chaos is familiar. The chaos drowns out the silence. They know this. This is exactly how they disrespect you. They know that if they pull away, if they give you the silent treatment, you will crack. They know you can't handle the withdrawal. They know you are addicted to the noise. They don't have to be kind to keep you. They just have to be there. They just have to be a warm body that occupies the space where your self-esteem should be. You need to make friends with the silence. You need to understand that the empty Friday night is not a punishment. It is a detox. It is the only place where you can actually heal. The silence is not empty. It is full of answers. It is full of the things you have been suppressing for years. It is full of the creativity, the peace, and the dignity you traded for their attention. Stop running from the quiet. Stop filling the void with garbage just so it feels full. Stop choosing the anxiety of disrespect over the peace of solitude. If you can sit in that room, alone, with your phone off, and be okay, you become dangerous. You become untouchable. Because if you don't need their noise to feel alive, they have no leverage over you. You have to be willing to sit in the dark until your eyes adjust to the light. I'm sorry. It is the most dangerous sentence in the English language. It is a magic spell. It dissolves your anger. It unclenches your jaw. It lowers your shoulders. You hear those two words, and you feel a rush of relief. Thank God, you think. They didn't mean to hurt me. They see my pain. We can go back to normal. And just like that, the slate is wiped clean. You go to dinner. You laugh. You have sex. You pretend the last 3 days of hell didn't happen because they said the magic words. But look at the calendar. Look at last month. Didn't they say, I'm sorry for the exact same thing? Look at last year. Didn't they say, I'm sorry for the exact same behavior? I'm sorry I yelled. I'm sorry I forgot. I'm sorry I flirted with them. I'm sorry I didn't call. You are collecting apologies like trading cards. You have a shoebox full of them under your bed. But you are starving for change behavior. Here is the brutal truth about apologies. An apology without change is just manipulation. It is a transaction. They purchase your silence with 2 words. They purchase your compliance with a sad look and a bouquet of flowers. And because you are so desperate for the relationship to work, you sell your dignity for pennies. You think that by forgiving them, you are being the bigger person. You think you are being understanding. You think you are showing them unconditional love. Wrong. You are showing them unconditional permission. Every time you accept an apology and stay in the exact same dynamic, you are signing a contract. You are telling them, this is the price of disrespecting me. You can treat me like garbage, as long as you say sorry afterwards. Think about a speeding ticket. If the fine for driving 100 miles per hour through a school zone was $1, would people stop speeding? No. They would speed every single day. They would keep a stack of dollar bills in the glove compartment just to pay the fine as they drove. You have made the fine for disrespecting you $1. You have made it affordable. You have made it cheap. You have made it so easy to hurt you that they don't even have to think about it. They know they can afford the ticket. Oh, I'll just apologize later. They always forgive me. That sentence should terrify you. They always forgive me. That isn't a compliment. That is a calculation. They have run the numbers. They know your breaking point, and they know it is miles away. They know they can push you, ignore you, belittle you, and as long as they perform the ritual of the apology, you will not leave. You are not being virtuous. You are being complicit. You are an accomplice to your own abuse. By failing to enforce a consequence, you are validating the action. In psychology, behavior that is rewarded is repeated, and relief is a reward. When you forgive them immediately, you give them relief. You take away their guilt. You make them feel better. You are rewarding them for hurting you. This is exactly how they disrespect you. They weaponize your capacity for forgiveness. They know you want to believe the best in them, so they use your own hope against you. You need to understand that the first time someone disrespects you, it might be a mistake. The second time, it is a choice. The third time, it is a pattern. The fourth time, it is your fault. Yes, your fault. Because you are the one opening the door. You are the one resetting the game. You are the one saying, it's okay. It is not okay. Stop accepting the words. Look at the data. If they respected you, they wouldn't just apologize for the behavior. They would stop the behavior. They would change. They would be terrified of losing you. But they aren't terrified of losing you, are they? Because you have never given them a reason to be. You have never shown them the door. You have only shown them the doormat. Real forgiveness requires repentance. Repentance means to turn around. It means to go in a different direction. If they are still walking down the same road, hitting you with the same car, and shouting sorry out the window as they run you over, that isn't an apology. That is a hit and run, and you are letting them get away with it. We have spent the last 20 minutes talking about them. We have analyzed their narcissism. We have dissected their manipulation tactics. We have exposed their intermittent reinforcement, their gaslighting, their cruelty. We have put them under a microscope and revealed them for exactly what they are, emotional vampires. But now, we are going to do something much harder. Now, we are going to turn the camera around. We are going to look at you. Because here is the uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to tell you. You are not just a victim in this story. You are a collaborator. You are the one who picks up the phone. You are the one who replies to the text. You are the one who drives to their house. You are the one who agrees to the plans. You are the one who stays. Why? Why do you keep choosing a person who makes you feel small? Why do you keep drinking poison and wondering why you are sick? You tell your friends, I don't know why they treat me like this. You tell your therapist, I don't know why I attract these people. Yes, you do. You attract them because you tolerate them. You attract them because your boundaries are suggestions, not walls. You attract them because you are broadcasting a signal to the world that says, I will trade my dignity for your attention. Let's go deeper. Let's look at the shadow. Part of you, a dark, hidden part of you, actually likes this. I know. You want to stop reading. You want to throw your phone across the room. I don't like suffering. I'm miserable. Are you? Or are you comfortable? There is a strange, twisted comfort in being the victim. When you are the one being mistreated, you get to be the good one. You get to be the martyr. You get to sit on the moral high ground and say, look how much I sacrifice. Look how patient I am. Look how much better I am than them. You get to complain to your friends for hours, and they give you sympathy. They tell you you're a saint. They tell you you deserve better. And that feels good, doesn't it? It feels like validation. If you left, who would you be? If you walked away and found a healthy, boring, stable relationship where nobody yelled at you, nobody ignored you, and nobody played games, would you be happy? Or would you be bored? Would you miss the adrenaline? Would you miss the drama? Would you miss the rush of fixing someone? You are using their disrespect to avoid your own life. As long as you are obsessed with their problems, their trauma, their chaotic behavior, you don't have to look at your own stagnation. You don't have to look at your own career, your own body, your own dreams. You are using them as a distraction from your own mediocrity. I can't focus on my goals right now. I'm dealing with this relationship. It's the perfect excuse. You are hiding behind your pain. You are wearing your suffering like a badge of honor. I'm a survivor, you say? I'm a fighter. No, you are a volunteer. You are waking up every single morning and choosing to walk into a cage. The door is open. The lock is broken. You could walk out at any moment. But you don't. You sit in the corner of the cage and cry about the bars. This is the mirror confrontation. You have to look at yourself and admit that you are the common denominator in your life. If every relationship you have is toxic, if every boss takes advantage of you, if every friend uses you, it is not bad luck. It is a pattern, and you are the architect of that pattern. You teach people how to treat you. Every single interaction is a lesson. When they interrupt you and you keep talking, you taught them your voice doesn't matter. When they are late and you wait, you taught them your time is worthless. When they cheat and you take them back, you taught them you have no self-respect. You are the professor of How to Abuse Me 101. You wrote the syllabus. You hand it out to everyone you meet. And then you are surprised when they follow the instructions. Stop blaming them for following the rules you set. This is exactly how they disrespect you. They are simply walking through the doors you left unlocked. You think you are being nice. You think you are being loyal. You think you are fighting for love. You are not fighting for love. You are fighting for approval. You are fighting for the validation of someone who cannot give it to you because they do not have it to give. And the tragedy, the absolute tragedy, is that while you are fighting for them, nobody is fighting for you. Not even you. You have abandoned yourself. You have left your inner child alone in a room with a monster, and you are standing outside the door, explaining to the neighbors that the monster didn't mean it. Open the door, pick yourself up, and walk out, not because they changed, but because you finally realized that you are worth more than a negotiation for basic human decency. So here we are, the end of the line. You have read the analysis. You have seen the patterns. You have felt the sting of recognition in every single paragraph. You know exactly who we are talking about. You know exactly what they have done to you. You know exactly how much of your soul they have eaten. And now, you have a choice. Not a wish. Not a hope. A binary choice. A fork in the road. Option A, you stay. You close this video. You put your phone down. You go back to them. You apologize for being distant. You accept the crumbs. You tell yourself, it's not that bad. You tell yourself, I can handle it. Let me paint you a picture of option A. 5 years from now, you are sitting in the exact same chair. You are having the exact same argument. You are crying about the exact same disrespect. But you look different. You look tired. The light in your eyes is gone. Your skin is gray. Your spark is extinguished. You have spent 5 more years of your one and only life trying to water a dead plant. You have missed 5 years of opportunities. You have missed 5 years of people who would have loved you. You have missed 5 years of peace. And they haven't changed a bit. In fact, they've gotten worse. Because now they know for a fact that you will never leave. They know they own you. You are a piece of furniture in their life, comfortable, worn out, and utterly disrespected. That is the slow death. That is the rot. That is the suicide of the self. Option B, you walk away. And I don't mean you take a break. I don't mean you ask for space. I don't mean you write them a 3-page letter explaining your feelings, hoping they will finally understand. Stop. If you explain, you are still negotiating. If you argue, you are still engaged. If you try to get the last word, you are still playing their game. The only way to win a game that is rigged against you is to flip the board and leave the room. This is the nuclear option. This is the amputation. It requires a blade. It requires you to be colder than you have ever been in your life. It requires you to do the thing that feels like dying. Silence. Total. Absolute. Permanent. Silence. Block the number. Delete the photos. Unfollow the friends. Remove the traces. You don't give them a reason. You don't give them a goodbye. You don't give them closure. Why? Because they didn't respect you enough to give you honesty, so you don't owe them the respect of an explanation. Your absence is the explanation. Your silence is the loudest scream they will ever hear. But that's mean, you say? That's cruel. Is it? Or is it survival? When a surgeon cuts off a gangrenous limb, is he being cruel? Or is he saving the patient's life? You are the patient. The relationship is the gangrene. You have to cut it off to survive. And here is what will happen when you do. It will hurt. It will hurt like hell. You will feel a phantom limb pain. You will wake up in the middle of the night reaching for them. You will want to check on them. You will bargain with yourself. Maybe I was too harsh. Maybe I should just check in. Do not do it. Sit on your hands. Scream into a pillow. Run until your lungs burn. Do whatever you have to do, but do not go back to the source of your infection. Because slowly, day by day, the fog will lift. The anxiety will drop. The constant, low-level hum of, am I good enough? Will vanish. You will start to taste your food again. You will start to hear the birds again. You will remember who you were before you became their doormat. You will realize that the love you were fighting for was just an addiction to pain. And then, one day, months from now, you will run into them. Or you will hear about them. And you will feel nothing. No anger. No hate. No love. Just indifference. That is the victory. Indifference is the opposite of love. Indifference is the only true freedom. When you can look at the person who disrespected you and see a stranger, you have won. But you can't get there if you stay. You can't get there if you negotiate. You can't get there if you keep checking the rearview mirror. You have to drive. You have to look at the road ahead. This is They Disrespect You. It is the story of how you lost yourself and the map of how you get yourself back. The door is open. The chains are off. The cage was never locked. Stand up. Walk out. And never, ever look back.